Hello class, and today we will be moving into the DLC area, the continuation, of course, the DLC, the Lucille Township, and then after which we will head down into the newly born Abyss, where we can take on Manus and stop the spread. Anyway, so these guys are Abyss-corrupted humans, or something like that. The former residents of Lucille, I guess they still reside in Lucille, but their humanity has gone wild, quote, and they've mutated into these weird-looking things. So anyway, that's all there really is to it. They're basically just normal enemies, backstab, basic attacks, knockbacks, all that good stuff. Anyway, this is an elevator shortcut, another one. Just don't fall in the hole and you'll be fine. It leads right down to the Chasm of the Abyss. So, yeah, we'll unlock the shortcut later in the video. So, if I time this correctly, we should be able to defeat Manus in this episode, possibly even the Black Dragon Calamite, and maybe a few other things while we're at it. So this might actually be one of the longer videos, not entirely sure, but well, anyway, let's just get on and we'll see how long it is when we get there, of course. So you might be wondering why I'm remaining in human form in this area. Well, I'm surprisingly enough not getting any more invasions after that one guy with the halberd and Mishodal and stuff, who obviously looked like he was well prepared for anything. And there actually is an NPC invasion right in this area. So I wanted to show you guys that because it's very important. So let's head down this way first. And guess who? Marvelous Chester, the shopkeeper from the forest area right before Artorias. There's a neat little tidbit. After defeating him, he actually just appears slightly agitated. If you decide to kill him, you will get his armor set, possibly a few other items, but mostly just his armor set. Well, that's pretty nice. He has a few interesting attacks, but nothing really dangerous. He does have a lot more health than other NPCs that we have to fight, and he has some pretty annoying attacks, like that roundhouse kick thing he does. But other than that, he's basically just a normal phantom that doesn't drop a humanity, oddly enough, or any of his items. So, yeah, let's head down this way, and down here. And here is a mimic, as you can see by the chain pointing to us. So give it a few good whacks, and one more should do it. Just gotta get a good position. There we go. So this guy drops a carving, a new addition in the DLC. It actually makes a noise when you use it. It's an unlimited item, so here we go.
Very good.
It's basically Dark Souls' equivalent of a voice chat.
Very good.
There's a few different phrases which can all be bought from Hawkeye Golf or looted in different areas of the game. That is your first carving. There's hello, I'm sorry, stuff like that. So you can find a lot of them and buy the rest of them. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the carvings. Voice chat. It's actually quite an effective method, but it requires you to stand still for a moment to use it. A little annoying, but it works. So you might be wondering, these sorceries this guy's casting at us is dark type, pretty much. I'm pretty sure it mostly consists of actually purely physical damage, although maybe it has its little own damage type of its own that we can't use. So yeah. There are some sorceries we'll be getting later, like the Black Flame Pyromancy, which actually do use this dark magic. So there's actually two ways to go about this area. I started going in one earlier, but I didn't because I thought it would take a bit too long or something, and I wanted to go this way first because it looked like the way we were supposed to go. So just wanted to get to an area where it would obviously lead us to a spot where the two paths would meet up, because there's only one destination. So anyway, up back through this path, and it's really surprising we haven't gotten invaded again, but well, Dark Souls has been getting kinda quiet, especially in the recent years. I haven't found very many PvP matches, but well, yeah, just have to wait a bit and your IP pool will widen and you can find some more matches if you want to. So there's an item down here that I have never actually been able to find myself in any of the previous videos, in any of my previous playthroughs, that is actually really useful. Should be right down here. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Anyway, so there's a part on the earlier path that I think that's part of the main path, I believe. It's not really that important, but yeah. Let there be light. This is actually an illusionary wall, but it's a special kind that you need a light source to banish. So there you go. Luckily for us, we had the sunlight maggot on us, so we can loot this. As you can see, it's not a mimic because the chain is curved away. And the silver pendant. This is a pretty impressive item. I'm going to go ahead and equip it as soon as we get out here and show you guys what it do. I think I'll put it in place of the very good carving because we're not really going to use that. Anyway, right down here, it deflects dark sorceries. So that's pretty nice. It's similar to the Force or Wrath of the Gods miracle, and it's used in a similar fashion. You just press X to use the item when it's on your hotbar. Here, I'm going to demonstrate, and I mistimed that, so I'm going to have to show you guys again. As you can see, it deflects the sorcery right back out of us. So if timed properly, it is one of the most effective items against Manus, because many of his attacks rely on dark sorceries to work effectively. So, and another one. Gotta keep these guys in line. It appears that there is an open chest down here. Looks to be a previously looted room. Interesting. Never seen this before. I think it's part of the DLC. And there's the Dark Orb, which is what those sorcerer dudes have been using against us this entire time. It's a sorcery though, and I'm pretty sure it requires intelligence and a good catalyst in order to use. So let's just stick with what we have. Our pyromancies are plenty good. Anyway, let's check out this way. I'm not sure if we've gone here yet. And so down this way. And here's this guy. He doesn't really do anything, but he's a one-hit kill and he drops the I'm sorry carving. I don't think he's a respawning enemy either. So there you go. It basically, instead of saying I'm very good, it just says I'm sorry. It's the exact same tone of voice for every carving, so you don't need to worry about that either. Anywho, over this way. And there's nothing on this little ledge here. So let's just head back up these stairs and be on our way out of the area. And this way. And here we are. So let's go ahead and come back down this way. And I got a little bit lost, so here we are back where we were supposed to be. And I also paused to do a little chatting with that guy who's been chatting me. Another one of my Steam friends, and he wanted to play a bit of TF2. Anyway, let's get moving. So these guys do respawn, as with most enemies, so yeah! Anyway, they only drop 400 souls each, which isn't really great for how far we are in the game, but it's there. So anyway, we could be using the silver pendant, but it's really quite unreliable if you don't time it properly. So we're just gonna stick with our good old sword and shield, you know? The good stuff. Anyway, down this way, and down in here. And we're ready to continue on right where we left off. So, in through here, and over here is a few more of these guys. As you can see in this darker area, their eyes glow. Interesting little effect, so just thought I should point that out. Anyway, over here is the more rubbish, most useful treasure in the game. You can actually trade it with Snuggly the Crow. If you don't know who that is, you can check the Asylum, the Return to the Asylum video. You just drop it in a nest, and out pops something else. So yeah, you can do that. Other than that, it's just a one soul item at Framped. So yeah, not great. Apparently they have a really weird laugh sound. And I hit the ground. Happens that happened to you. And now we're poisoned because he has a poison mist, apparently. Or rather, a dark mist. Ooh, spooky. Yeah, it's pretty much just a poison mist. Although it is a little bit more of an area of effect, I guess. There we go. Good, strong, solid hit. There we go. So that's good for that guy. We can head down here now. Just be careful you don't get caught in any dark ores, because those can be really damaging, especially when they chain together. Especially with these guys. So I'm guessing that these guys' focus is doing quite a bit of damage. So need to be very careful of that. So yeah, just watch your health bar. Just watch your health bar. That is all I have to say. Anyway, so just make sure you get rid of these guys quickly, because the sorcerers will completely overpower you if you don't. And there's another one. There's so many of these guys in this zone, although this is the most you'll ever see in one place. There are a couple of sorcerers and a few guys in this very annoyingly placed location later in the area. It's actually right after this. So you can see we're seeing more evidence of abyss corruption on the ground, so we're getting closer to the chasm of the abyss. There's one of those bodies dangling by a rope, so we're going to go ahead and use the binoculars. But first we need to equip our 233 bolts. And you can aim the crossbow bolts semi-reliably with the binoculars. Just try to place it in the center of your screen. And did it hit? No. Let's try that again. No, I'm a bit too low. Need to aim more. Anyway, we should get a little more vertical distance with this different angle. There we go. So we've successfully pulled down a body. This contains the dark fog pyromancy. Sorry, it's not dark mist, it's dark fog. Ooh. Anyway, so it's just a poison mist AoE attack. It's nothing special really, but it's there. And these guys apparently drop large titanite shards. Interesting for where they are, but oh well. Down here is another soul of a hero, so we have a stockpile of soul items getting back up again. And through here some stairs up, so there's a few secret items in here, including the key to Goff's room. And if that's not the way to pronounce it, somebody tell me, because I've been pronouncing it wrong this whole time. Anyway, it's G-O-U-G-H, I think. Maybe just, I don't know. Anyway, something like that. Yeah, Goff. That's how I've been pronouncing it, so if it's different, let me know. Anyway, and up this way is a few more things, but nothing special just yet. Let's just drop down into the area there, into the main area there, the floor level. Over here, I believe you might actually be able to cut down the body with your melee attack. Here's where you roll here, and there's a few treasures waiting for you. Right over here is a mimic, as you can see by the chain. Even this guy can't stand up to the triple tap. Anyway, and here is the crest key, which opens Goff's door. No illusory walls or anything, nothing like that. And yeah, just try to get a good hit on these guys. Even if you miss, they mostly just sit and stare in the other direction kind of awkwardly. Anyway, over in this room is nothing much really. Might be good if you looked around a little bit more, because I just realized I didn't. There's a drop down in that area right to the next bit of the game, but next bit of the area. But other than that, here's where you can chop off the body with your with a melee attack. So you didn't have to use the crossbow if you didn't want to. Anywho, up through here and over this way, and down this drop, and here we are right back where we started. So down these stairs and down these stairs and back in the main area. So let's head out this door now, and over this way. You can definitely see a lot of evidence of abyss corruption, especially with the bottomless pits to either side and the fallen buildings and everything. Anyway, over here is the shortcut elevator. It's very effective in PvP. One good hit and everybody goes flying off into the abyss. Either that or they just die. So if you want to see more of it, look for Peverson's PvP videos and look for one that mentions the elevator in the title. So yeah, it's a favorite of his and it's a favorite of mine. So anyway, here we are, so let's go take a rest at the bonfire. Maybe kindle it a bit, because why not? Anyway, let's see if we have any soul items we can use up. Soul items, no. Oh yes, we're going to use the crest key up through here, and we can talk to Hawkeye Goff. Now, To trigger the Calamite reaction, you actually have to get killed by Calamite at one point. So we did that earlier, just to show you guys what that was. But it's also required to get Hawkeye Golf to shoot it down. So anyway, you can see this is definitely going to be one of the longer videos because we're about a third of the way through at 15. So yeah, up through here. And here is Hawkeye Goff, a definite giant, and there's his great bow. So freed Artorias, that's the way he does that. So apparently he's blind. You'll see why I don't believe that in this next bit. Anyway, he's a merchant. He sells a couple of carvings for 5 souls each. He also sells some titanite and Goff's great arrows, which are some of the best in the game. So I am really surprised that he's been sitting here all this time to see all the dust fall off him. And I really don't think that he's actually blind, as you'll see in this next cutscene. So, yeah, just answer yes. We are perseverers. Yeah. Anyway, so see how Goff hunts dragons. Anyway, as you can see, as he gets up, dust flies off him in chunks practically. He's been sitting there for a while, as you can see. It acts like he's blind here, but I really doubt it. Finds his bow, grabs the handle. Now this next shot would be impossible if he were blind, but he does this with such precision accuracy. I'm really surprised that he actually says he's blind. I really don't believe it. Just watch this shot and you'll see why. Where'd you get that arrow from? Whatever. Herm, says the subtitles. Anyway. There's Calamite, conveniently on time. Now watch this and tell me that he's blind with a straight face. See there. Straight hit. Immobilize one of his wings, and you tell me he's blind. Just tell me with a straight face that this guy is blind. Anyway. How did he know that it hit him? Anyway. Okay. So now that we're done here, let's go ahead and head down to Calamite. So there's a neat little tidbit. Once you actually kill Calamite, Goff will give you a smaller copy of his great bow, and possibly with a few great arrows while he's at it. So yeah, you can grab those if you want to, but we're not going to. It does have similar requirements to the Dragon Slayer great bow, but we already have a pretty good upgraded crossbow anyway, so we're just going to stick with that. Anyway, over this way, and over this way. Let's head down to the Calamite boss fight. Finish this guy off. Anyway, so now he's actually fightable as a mostly ground-based boss, although his wing is only injured, so he can still walk around a bit. So he can still fly a little bit. It does give him some opportunities for some area of effect dragon breath attacks and stuff like that. But other than that, it's just your basic boss. It's kind of like the Asylum Demon with its super jumps that let him hover for a moment. That's really just about all he gets with his wings. Immobilized as they are. Well, actually only one is, but still. And if Goff could really loose a shot that awesome, why couldn't he just hit him in the head? Whatever. Dragon slaying, cool, you know. The only real dragon in this game, really. There's the Gaping Dragon and the Hellkite Drake, but those are mutated form and a drake, not a dragon. So yeah. Anyway, there's the Everlasting Dragon too. I guess he might be the only real one left after we beat up Calamite. Anyway, I sped up this bit to preserve as much time as we could because we're getting near to 20 and we're still not halfway. So there's Calamite. It's pretty awesome. He has some pretty neat dragon breath attacks, head spine attacks. You can see the similarity to Black Magic. It is sort of physical based. I've seen that Red Eye attack. Don't get caught in that. It doubles the damage he deals to you if you get caught in it. It doesn't do much at first, but it does deal double once he gets it to you. We're going to need a lot more Estus if we're going to succeed at this. But so this guy does have a really awesome dragon tail weapon as well. It's the Obsidian Greatsword. It has an area of effect super attack that uses his dragon breath, similar to what he just did there. If you can find an opportunity to cut off his tail, go for it, because that weapon is awesome. But I never actually have found an opportunity to cut it off. So that's something for you guys to figure out. So it is a non-scaling weapon, but it's really great for our build, especially if you can afford all the stats to use it. So I'd highly recommend it, especially for its area of effect attack. If you don't have like a good enough weapon already. But it's up to you to try and cut off this guy's tail. I don't see how you could do that. This guy is so ridiculously overpowered. As you can see, lightning is supposed to be the weakness of the dragons, but I guess he's not an everlasting dragon, is he? Anyway. So just keep on pestering him. We're at half Estus now, and he's at a little more than half health, although we're getting to him. And now we're only at 4 Estus charges left. We're starting to lose the battle. So, yeah. We're getting down. Yeah, just stay out of his attacks. Most of them are actually undodgeable if you dodge to the left or right, so just you're gonna have to back up from him a lot. Surprisingly more than other bosses. It's like these attacks are meant to catch you when you're dodge rolling sideways. This guy was specifically tailored to playstyles because the guys tailored this DLC to the wantings of players and the playstyles of players because they saw how players played the original and then they capitalized on it. So neat little trick. If you use humanities to heal you can use humanities to heal yourself. They give you an automatic full heal, and it adds a humanity counter, making you slightly more powerful in most stats. So we're going to use those if we come to an emergency. Now, so anyway, full heal, although his Dragon Breath did knock off a few points at the end there. Yarg, he's getting us pretty good. Oh, careful with that cone attack, it gets you pretty good. Anyway, so the humanities is the most effective method of healing, in my opinion. So go ahead and use them. Anyway, now we killed the Black Dragon Calamite, and we get the Calamity Ring. It's a very special artifact, and it's only useful for hardcore runs and such. So, basically, just take a look. It makes you take double damage. So it's good if you're doing like a challenge run, like a Calamity Ring run, fists only, no shields. Whoa. That'd be like the ultimate challenge. Especially if it was like New Game Plus 3 or something. Anyway, over here behind this waterfall, a secret little chest containing a titanite slab. Yes. So now we should have now that we have another slab, we can use that to upgrade our eagle shield to the max level. Once we get the chunks from the final area of the game. So there should be a few more things around here. So in case you're wondering, Goff's knight name really, I guess, is Hawkeye Goff. So there's a neat little nod to that in this next area. Just right down over here. There's a message right here that says, "If only Hawkeye were here." Most people might just take this at a jibe of the superhero, but Hawkeye Goff, if he was here, would actually really help. And there's great arrows as another clue. Anyway, let's go ahead and use our last homeward bone. We're going to need a few more of those, but I don't think we really will. Shouldn't be needing those anymore. Let's go ahead and equip the... let's go ahead and equip a... Let's go ahead and equip... Make up your mind. Let's just do the orange guidance soapstone, because that's an item you might use often, sort of. Let's consume a few soul items so we can level up a bit. So let's get rid of this collection, and then we have more than enough to level up plenty of times. Anyway, nothing special here. Let's go ahead and rest. Give ourselves another stat here, and we're just 1,000 off, or we're only like 1,000 off from our next level. So let's go ahead and kindle up this bonfire a bit. I mean, why not, you know? Be careful of invaders. They're everywhere. Anyway. So now we have like 15, and then we have a spare humanity, so we might as well kindle it up to 20. Because it's cool. So if you do it right, you shouldn't actually need all that humanity for the boss fight with Calamite, but, well, whatever. Anyway, let's head to the shortcut elevator and then get on with the area. So that's 400 towards our next level. There's 800 towards our next level. and we should be almost there. We should be practically there already. There's another 400. There's another... wait for it. 400 or so after we get this guy. Anyway, so this guy dropped another large titanite shard. So the elevator is already here, like, yes, we don't have to wait for it to come back up. So go ahead and step on the button. Don't fall off. This elevator's going really stupid fast, so you'd be screwed if you made even the slightest movement. Anyway, let's head down this way. And we're almost to the next bonfire already, which is kind of surprising, but there are a few things standing between us and it. Like these guys, positioned cleverly on the staircase, with no cover or anything like that. And these three guys, which we all killed all of them in one hit with. So there's a few sorcerer dudes. So there's actually two of them, and they both cast a dark orb. So you need to make sure you can get them before you can move on, because it looks like they just cast a dark fog. Looks like it's not really an area of effect, more of a distance AoE attack. And this area I've never really figured out the purpose of. Perhaps there's some hidden lore behind it. But the only enemy in this entire room is this weird guy. He's really just a mishmash of stuff. He's got a few attacks, but they really aren't all that damaging. He's a non-responding mini-boss enemy, I guess, and I really don't get the point of him. I mean, he's weird, he's interesting, but I just don't know. He's just odd. So if you guys know anything or have heard anything about this guy, let me know, because I am really honestly confused. And it confuses us even more. It drops chain armor and leather gauntlets. Seriously? What? Anyway, no more enemies between us and the bonfire, I should think. We're heading down into where the corruption is stemming from. The Chasm of the Abyss. So we're almost there. It's down the dungeons of this castle-ish area. Here's an enemy riding up in the elevator. Go away. Don't want you here. His body floats because the elevator is moving so fast. Luckily, we still get a chance to loot him. 2 large titanite shards. Wow! Anyway, there's a bunch of open jail cells. I guess the prisoners all escaped. I wonder what happened to them. Anyway, now we're getting really corrupted here. But we're heading into the Chasm of the Abyss. So I died. No surprise there. So I had to cut out that. It looks really awkward now that I'm watching it, but well, oh well. Anyway, Chasm of the Abyss, the starting point, really. It's kinda dark, but no light can make it any brighter, unfortunately. The only source of information we have at long range is our lock-on. So, let's judge our distances properly. We should be able to get these guys pretty quickly. And there's still sorcerers laying around. So I believe I kindled up the Chasm of the Abyss bonfire. I don't quite think so, though. This is one of the hardest areas in the game. It's kind of dark, and you can't really see what's going on. Dark Bead. The most overpowered spell in all of Dark Souls. So basically, it's a whole bunch of dark orbs that spray in a horizontal shotgun-like pattern. And it's really, really the most overpowered thing you could ever use in any PvP ever. Just get close to him, cast it, and you win. That's how it works. For that reason, and that reason alone, it's frowned upon, as is most other dark magic, because they're considered overpowered. So, yeah. Don't use this in PvP if you don't want to get someone yelling at you. Might see those guys down there. They are unblockable enemies that attack by walking into you, and as you may guess by their looks, they are actually made of humanity, and they drop it quite frequently. This is one of the best places. This is not one of the. This is literally the best place in the entire game to farm humanities. So come down here if you're short. There's Alvina, and so she's showing us the way to Sif the Great Grey Wolf. So since these guys can't be blocked, we're going to rely on our two-handing our sword to deal a maximum amount of damage. As you can see, we can one-hit these guys. They barely drop any souls, if at all. And the only thing that really has them the only thing that's really going for them is their hugely high drop rate of humanity. So yeah, if you guys equip the covetous gold serpent ring and have 10 humanities, these guys should be dropping it like mad. So, yeah, try it out for yourselves. So especially with a dashing forward weapon like this and enemies that don't have collision detection, this area can be pretty tough to get through. But since these guys have a pretty low detection range and they're not very aggressive if you dodge out of the way, this actually can be one of the easiest areas in the game, especially if you just... And another interesting bit is actually a shortcut. That big area full of the humanity sprites, I'm going to call them, is actually a shortcut almost directly to the boss fight. So you can use that if you want to. So where are we? This is a shortcut. Interesting. And guess where it leads? Right out to before the Artorias boss fight. So that's pretty interesting. So you can head back here if you ever need to. Talk to Marvelous Chester or something, buy a few of his humanities. I don't know, something like that. But for now, we'll just continue on with the area. As you can see, we're almost done. I believe it's in this video that we finish off Manus, and the next one we will actually finish off the entire game. So we're getting there. We are getting there. Right here is an illusory wall. And in here is the area where Artorias left his shield to defend Sif. He used the power of his shield, or something like that, to create a magic barrier that stops these guys' damaging effects. And so Sif is safely encased inside that yellow glowy barrier you see. As you can see, it's a baby Sif with a slightly smaller Artorias sword. I wonder if you got that, if Artorias was using it. But no matter. And here's a humanity, finally. Anyway. So Sif is stuck there. If you rescue him before fighting him in the Darkroot Forest, he will actually recognize you, and there will be a special cutscene that triggers, where Sif will smell you after he pins you on the ground, recognize you, yet he still decides to fight you, so there's no avoiding the Sif boss fight, unfortunately. So, anyway, once you kill this last ghost, person, humanity, sprite, whatever here, fall into the abyss creature. Anyway, now that they're all dead, Sif should give a howl. And he is actually now available as a summonable phantom for the Manus boss fight. So there's a cleansing rate shield. So he's a special kind of phantom. So anyway, it's got some pretty good defense against magic, which is really awesome. Anyway, so the Sif is a unique kind of phantom. He can only be summoned inside the boss fight area itself. His summon signal is sitting right in the middle of the Manus room, and he will help you out if you just touch a summon sign just by walking past pressing A. He'll be summoned. It doesn't do much damage, but he's really, really good at taking it. So he'll be able to distract Manus's attacks if you do it right. So anyway, up here, if my guess is correct, this is right where the humanity sprite thing leads into. There's a humanity. So that is actually really close to the Manus boss fight right there, so you can just plow through those guys if you don't want to walk through this whole area. And yeah, here we are. Let's make sure we're at full health, or at least something close to full before we head down here. So generally it's a good idea to use two-handed against these guys because they can't be blocked, and it's just does more damage when you're two-handing. Not sure why our weapons hurt these guys, but I guess it makes the game a little bit easier, especially on people who don't have like an awesome ghost weapon like the Artorias sword or something. So interesting little tidbit, Artorias' greatsword is one of the best weapons to use against ghosts because it's a boss weapon, and it's cursed, so it can actually affect the ghosts, and it is literally the best cursed weapon in the game. Apparently there was a Gravelord sword I didn't know about again. I'm not quite sure why that keeps happening, because they're only supposed to show up in New Game Plus or something. Yeah, tell me that. Tell me why they only show up in New Game Plus, but I'm seeing them everywhere here. Perhaps it's like a DLC only thing. I don't know. Come here, little one. I only want to murder your face in. There we go. Up here is the Black Flame Pyromancy. Yes. This is one of the best pyromancies in the game. It's pretty much a melee pyromancy, but it does ridiculous amounts of damage, and it's pretty hard to block. It's another one of those cheap PvP ones. So we're going to equip it instead of Fire Surge. So we'll have 2 Chaos Pyromancies and a Abyss Pyromancy. So we'll be pretty decked out. Anyway, I'll head up to the Manus boss fight, and yeah, we'll continue on in the area from there. So we're almost done with this area, and this video is stretching on way longer than I intended it to. But we gotta finish up this game, and the next video will be our last. So we don't actually have to fight those guys just yet. You only really have to fight them if you're looking for a shortcut, and in all honesty, it's actually pretty easy to fight those guys. You just have to stay in one specific place and just keep whittling away at them while they come at you. Anyway, there's a Twin Humanities, one of the rarer items. Anyway, down this way. And there's the Manus Boss Fog Gate. So let's head down in here. There's a treasure in here. Nothing special, I believe, but it's there. It's actually a little shortcut right down to the bottom, so it only contains a couple ghosts. And, yes, I am still playing Dark Souls. You can tell because it says I'm still in-game. Anyway, over here, a white titanite slab. One of the only places you can get one of those. I'm not even sure if there are any in not even sure if there are any in the catacombs. So it's a nice little touch, I guess. Another white titanite slab. Can't block these guys, but I'm still gonna try because I'm evil. Anyway, just give a good hit, and these guys will go down. Anyway, here's the Manus Boss Fog Gate. So, if there's actually a neat little tidbit, I'll tell you guys that once we finish this little bit here. Anyway, and one more good whack, and down here is the Soul of a Hero. So, if you stand on the other side of this little bridge, you can actually see Manus's eyes and shoot him with the crossbow. You can actually defeat the boss without actually going into his area. I died fighting Manus, of course. So I decided to cut to here and show you guys equipping the Black Flame Pyromancy. So it has 8 uses, and it is a melee oriented. As you can see, it's just a big flame right in front of you. Really quite overpowered, does quite a lot of damage. And it'll be one of our main sources of damage against Gwyn, actually. So now let's actually do the Manus boss fight. And here, still we'll walk out and there's nothing interesting. But as before, a great rumbling, the abyss is coming up, and Manus's hand is too. And that was really fast, and if you had a low frame rate, you probably wouldn't have caught any of that. Anyway, we wake up where Manus placed us, down on this little platform, and there's Manus, father of the abyss, and quite possibly founder of humanity as the furtive pygmy. Has a super huge stretchy arm, an abyss sorcery's catalyst in his other hand, and he has quite a few pretty creepy looking eyes. This is debatably the best boss fight in the game, right next to Artorias. So, looks really awesome, he works really awesome, doesn't have a tail weapon unfortunately, but who needs one when you're this awesome? You can see abyss sorceries do practically nothing against this guy. And he has quite a few really awesome combos you can use too. So, stay away from this guy. Stay away from this guy. Anyway, so he does have quite a few pretty powerful attacks, and I just found Sif's summon sign. It's kind of hard to see in this low light, but there we go. Great Grey Wolf Sif is now our helper. As you can see, he's a baby form, so he's not quite as awesome as he was as an actual boss, but he should be able to see Manus soon. There he is. He takes damage like a pro, and he does something at least. Not quite as much as we do, but still something in that range. And he does distract Manus, which is quite good considering how awesome Manus' combos are. So, as you can see, it's ringed by a wall of impenetrableness, and he has a few abyss sorceries with him as well. If you use the silver pendant right, you might be able to deflect some of the abyss sorceries back into him, but it's not really that great. I've never actually had to use the abyss pendant, the silver pendant on this guy. I've only found it in this playthrough, and I haven't really got the timing worked out properly anyway. So anyway, Just hit him enough times. It looks like Sif is down, unfortunately, so it's just us against Manus now. Oh, nope, Sif's still there. He's taking damage like a pro. He's really good at this. Yeah. How is he still alive after all that pounding? Then again, how are we? Anyway. We had 8 Estus left, too. That was a pretty awesome fight. So, Sif, thank you for your help. So there's the Soul of Manus and 10 humanities. That's ridiculous. Anyway, here's Dusk. Apparently she mistook us for Artorias, which is why she told us that she was saved by Artorias. Anyway, the Soul of Manus. It's used to craft the Manus Catalyst with any catalyst. It is the best catalyst for casting Abyss sorceries. So, she doesn't really say much. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so the Manus Catalyst is simply the best way to use Abyss sorceries. So, use it if you will. But its only use is for Abyss sorceries. If you want anything better, use Logan's, which you get by buying all of Logan's sorceries, of course. Anyway, so let's go ahead and put a level in here. And now we're actually done with the DLC, and we can warp right back to Firelink after we repair our equipment, of course, and get on with the game. We are almost done. One more episode to go, guys. Just one more, and we are done. So yeah, almost there. Almost there, guys. Just one more area. One more video, one more area. Yeah. So, back where we started in Firelink. There's Framped, the Primordial Serpent. And that is all for today. See you in the next episode where we finish the game, class.